Hey, welcome back. Not to you. I saw you guys the other day. Welcome back. Wherever it was you were, I really wish you had a great time. I hated doing the show by myself.
Me?
Oh.
Did you miss me?
Listen, I asked
don't
Weber,
think I didn't watch some of it. And
I asked Weber 3 questions. He filled the whole half hour. And my favorite part of the favorite part of the comments was like, "What is he going to say tonight on Kenny and Rennie?" I'm like, "There's like he'll find something."
Let me tell you, they had a lot to talk about on Kenny and Rennie. Did they ever? Hello, everyone.
People know that I shouldn't be unsupervised.
Isn't that the truth? That's why I could. It's why I had to watch after the show was live,
right.
so
You're
that
like,
I didn't
what did
just
he say about me?
I didn't type in with angry messages in the chat and try to provoke.
Oh my gosh. That would be awesome. We could just fight back and forth via the chat room.
I'm Sara Lasky. He's Jamie Thomas. As you know, you are watching The Check-In as we get you set for tonight's game. The Winnipeg Jets have hit the road for their next 4 games. It starts tonight in New Jersey. They are also in Tampa, Florida, Dallas. Play Panthers, and then they wrap things up next week against the Dallas Stars before returning home for 1 game and 1 game only before the Olympic break. Looking forward to a great show today. Amanda Stein's going to join us. Mm-hmm. She covers the New Jersey Devils. If you don't follow her on X, you really should, because she has the best handwriting ever for like her cursive line.
Her handwriting is the best.
It's second to none.
You don't even need fonts anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mitchell Clinton at 12:45. So it was an optional morning skate today for the Jets, but we will catch up with him as well. Let's take a look at where things are in terms of the wildcard standings going into tonight's game.
Game 52.
In some ways, hard to believe. Like, game 52 already. Mm-hmm. You look at the work that the Jets have to do right now. Busy night in the NHL as well. So the Jets still trying to make up some ground in order to catch up to the San Jose Sharks, who are currently in that second wildcard spot.
Or Los Angeles or Seattle, I guess. I mean, like it. That's
those ones can easily change.
There's a lot of teams, and I talked about this on the other show, but look at everybody that's below the line and their record in their last 10. So Winnipeg is the best of that group. And I mean, Los Angeles, you could say, is half decent in that aspect, but Winnipeg has the best opportunity, I think, just because of the way everybody else is playing right now. That being said, got to start winning games again. We go back to Saturday.
Yep.
I don't know what happened.
Well, I will tell you that I went. So I was on the road for my daughter's volleyball. Yeah. And I left to go get food for her, and it was 1-0.
Look good.
And so it took me a little bit of time, came back. I was like, oh, it's 5-1. Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. That was pretty much, oh dear. I walked in to the hotel room. I looked at the TV and went, oh dear. Oh, this is not good. This is what have I missed?
So when Ernie came out, he was not happy. His media availability was literally 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What else needs to be said outside of embarrassing?
He had
used pond hockey again.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to get hit. Nobody wanted to hit. So he had some time to cool down because Sunday was off.
Yeah. Yesterday was a full practice before they flew.
Right. So he did not pull back on what he said, but here's a little bit more of a cool down version of Scott Arniel and his thoughts what happened Saturday.
First 2 periods weren't very good against Detroit. I know the score was 0-0, and then we obviously got up 1, 1-0, whatever. But we didn't hit a soul. We were circling. We were, if we had odd man rushes or we had opportunities, we were taking the long way around to get to the net. In the offensive zone, we were playing on the outside, we were playing on the perimeter. There was a lot of things, and maybe I'm more critical, obviously, as I look at it. But those other games you mentioned, the Florida we got inside, the St. Louis we got there, we won our battles, and that's a big thing for me. It's those net front battles. It's those, the willingness to do those hard things, and that was more of the disappointment. Was that, they scored the goals, they got rewarded. Detroit. And they got rewarded in the third because we were doing it for the first 2 periods, and it just continued. And then they hadn't scored in those other opportunities that they got in the periods 1 and 2.
Speaking of being critical, for those of us that have covered the team for a long time, there's not a lot of instances of coaches kind of giving the harsh verbal treatment that you gave the team the other night. What's your expectation of how they can handle that, and how do you expect them to respond?
We can't take any nights off. That was more of the message. So we can't take any nights off. Shifts off, nights off. we're not in the luxury. We're not sitting 20 points ahead of the next playoff team. We're, it's a grind right now, and every point matters. And that was the other one that we could have, obviously know that this trip is going to be a tough trip. Finishing our long stand at home, was it 9 of 11 games at home? Finishing it with a win against Detroit would have been a big boost for us heading out on the road. And that was just, to me, that was a game there that we let slip. And it's no disrespect to Todd and the Detroit Red Wings. I didn't think they were at their best. And it was a game that we should have taken control of and won that hockey game. And you know what? We let them hang around, and then all of a sudden, third period, they capitalized on our mistakes.
I think everything you said there is fair. And time is running out. And it's just like, considering the opponents that they have on this road trip, New Jersey, Tampa, Florida, Dallas, like that, he's 100% right. You have to win that game before you head out on the road, so you have some good feelings. So now a little more pressure than they already have going on. Somebody knows a little bit more, or something about a team that is maybe not playing to their potential, should be in the playoff race right now. Look on the outside looking in, Amanda Stein from the New Jersey Devils. Amanda, so glad you can join us.
Hello.
Look at that place.
I know. I was just gonna say.
When can we move in?
Oh, thanks. Oh my God. And I was like trying to position my camera because my place is a mess because we just got back from a road trip, and I know you guys know that, the laundry and all this, your whole house goes up in flames.
100%.
We know all about these things, Amanda. We totally understand.
Okay.
Listen, you can't even tell you're on a road trip. It looks like you just moved in. So
Great.
congratulations. You did a great job. First off, before we get going here, I want to congratulate you on the great article you wrote about Brendan Dillon and his 1000th game in the National Hockey League. Also the interview that you did where you brought out a photo of young Brendan. I know we talked about when you guys were here.
Yeah.
You brought it out and you got him to cry. You got me on that one.
He talks about this interview, and look, it was a fantastic piece.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He talks about, you would think that we saw the Devils 6 times in a season, the way that he talks about. He's like, I'm gonna see if Amanda's gonna come on. She did such a great piece on Brenna. I'm like, yeah, she did.
Well, I appreciate it.
You want president of the fan club right here in that article? 100%.
You're welcome.
Well, he's a very easy, not Jamie. Dylan is a very easy, he's a very easy person.
All right, right up as the show theme here.
And I mean, I know you guys know that from working with him for a couple of years.
So did you expect him to break down the way that he did? Was the question at all? Like, because I've always told people about Brendan, he's the toughest guy on the ice. And then when you get to know him, and like his persona on the ice does not make sense at all when you talk to him face to face in the dressing room or outside the dressing room on the road.
Yeah, I mean, did I expect him to break down? Not the way he did. I thought like maybe I'd be lucky and get like a tear or two. As interviewers, you always want that moment. But
Barbara Walters moment.
Yes.
Exactly.
We're gonna make you cry.
I didn't expect him to be as viscerally affected by seeing pictures of himself. And it was kind of that like strange moment where you're like, okay, like, do I let him keep crying and talk, or like, I kind of interrupted. I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to make you cry. Like, I just, sort of patted him on the shoulder, just like, I'm so sorry. Cause he is such a tough guy on the ice that you're like, kind of like revealing to the world through that, like who he really is at his core, which is this genuine, really nice person who I would say is probably the nicest guy in the league, like hands down. So easy to work with, but it was a last minute decision for me. I ran over to my photographer, said, here's some pictures of Dilly when he was a kid. Can you please get them to me before we go in? And it sort of all came together within 5 minutes, and the whole thing went viral. And I'm proud to cover Brendan Dillon. I know you guys were too when he was in Winnipeg. Such an easy guy. And, if you can break him down a little bit, why not?
Here's a funny thing sorry, Sarah. We just had Logan Stanley on the podcast, taped that the other day. It's going to come out on Friday. I asked him about that moment that you had with Brendan Dillon, if that made sense to him. And he said, yeah, he goes, it doesn't surprise me that Brendan. cried.
Very emotional guy.
He said he's a very emotional person on and off the ice. So he said he was not surprised in the slightest that Brendan broke down when you showed those photos.
Well,
Sarah, you're serious. He does bring it up all the time.
I told you. He's like, all these guys were like,
because Dilly's one of my favorite people.
people.
I know he's been gone for a long time, and I feel like he's coming back for the first time because he's just that cool.
Nicest. He's just the nicest. We had
Dan
our
Murphy
morning skate
told me,
today.
Amanda.
We had,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, we had our morning skate today, and the Jets only had an optional, but like all the Jets media that's here came in specifically to talk to Dilly.
Yes.
You can ask a question.
Well,
now.
no, I
Yeah.
was just, I mean, to put a bow, Brendan, that one of the
Maybe.
things that
Maybe.
I love about is his story, and just that idea too of being an undrafted player and being overlooked for so many drafts, and then being able to have the career that he's had. I think it's inspiring, or it should be inspiring for so many athletes, not just in hockey, about continuing on, about not giving up. And just because you don't fit a prototypical mold, maybe at a young age,
Yes.
that doesn't mean that with the hard work or anything that you can't achieve what it is. Okay, we are gonna, you can work Brendan into this answer
Yeah.
if you want to make Jamie's day
Please
a
do.
little bit better. So since you guys were here in Winnipeg, suffered the loss, but then you've gone 5-2 since then. What sort of things should we, coming into this game off of a loss, what are you expecting from this Devils team tonight? What should people be watching out for?
Well, I think one of the things with New Jersey right now is that they've kind of learned a lot better in recent weeks how to rebound properly from losses, right? They don't really allow things to extend. One of the things that really happened after that Jets game was they really shored up their defensive side of the game. And that has really changed things for them, that type of focus. Then you go to Seattle, which was their game on Sunday, and it was those own defensive breakdowns that cost them the game in the end. And so a lot of their errors right now, they're like self-inflicted wounds, are what's causing New Jersey to lose games when they lose. So this is a team that's going to be really dialed in defensively because they're a group that don't want to allow things to snowball. And you kind of, you know how they played against the Jets a couple of weeks ago. And again, it was sort of those self-inflicted errors. And that's the thing that they're really trying to get out of their game. Because oddly enough, with all the offensive power that they have, they're not able to outscore their mistakes right now. And they know that. They're really having struggles scoring 5-on-5. Their power play is finally coming together. But when you're a team that is struggling 5-on-5 and can't outscore your mistakes, you've really got to tighten things defensively. And I know I will work Dilly in here. He is a very, very proud man when it comes to the job that he does and that the team does defensively, because that's what he calls his D union, his D core, really is the focus here against the Jets tonight.
Okay, so you just talked about the back end. Luke Hughes was not having the best of seasons, but still not having him in the lineup for a significant period of time cannot help their causes, right?
So it's interesting you say that. Obviously you want Luke Hughes in your lineup because when he's at the best, he's a great player for this team.
Right.
He'd probably be the one to tell you that he isn't having the best season. But yes, he comes out. But the real interesting part here is that just before he got injured, you were starting to see Sheldon Keefe having to make some pretty big decisions on his defense, because for the first time he had, 8 healthy defensemen with Jonathan Kovacevic coming back. You have Shimon Nemeth and you have Dougie Hamilton. And if you add Luke Hughes into that mix, somebody's got to sit out. You're not taking Dilly out. You're not taking Brett Pesce out. You're not taking Jonas Siegenthaler out. So somebody had to come out. And at one point it was Dougie. At one point it was Shimon Nemeth. And now you're kind of backed into the corner in the most positive of ways, that you don't have to make those decisions and have someone sitting on the inside out. Of course you want Luke there. He is a young player. He's dynamic and we've seen what he can do. But right now you're also seeing Dougie Hamilton come in off of his scratch the game after Winnipeg. Or no, sorry, he was scratched in Winnipeg. And he's now put together a streak of 9 straight personal straight games with points. He's sort of becoming that Dougie Hamilton that the team has seen in years past, particularly when it comes to producing points, which is also something that Luke Hughes does. So hopefully you're in a position right now that you can kind of wait it out, let Luke get healthy again, and then go back to having to make decisions if that's on the table at that point.
Do you still hear a lot of speculation within the marketplace side about the future of Dougie Hamilton? Obviously, that was a hot topic when the team was here in Winnipeg a couple of weeks ago.
Well, it's hard not to hear things, right?
Yeah.
We are on the outside looking in, and I do obviously have that insider perspective. And it was such a really loud kind of noise surrounding the entire league, right? Like you couldn't listen to a podcast without it. You couldn't go on Twitter without it. It was there. But I think that, they're insulated enough. They're not dumb. Like they know what's happening on the outside, but you're just sort of starting to see them dial in a little bit more as they're trying to get their season back on track. And, Dougie's just like, he's a great guy. He's going to play his game no matter what. I think he's probably pretty good at blocking out that type of noise. And right now they're in a position where it's probably dialed down a little bit at this point. As we all know in this business, anything can kind of happen. So we'll wait it out until that point.
Amanda, I just saw a comment here. Amanda strikes me as a soup girl. Soup is a big conversation piece on the show.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
What is your favorite soup, your go-to soup, Amanda, before we let you go?
I
But you didn't
need
know
to
you were going
know-
to ask this question today.
Yeah.
No, and I'm like, we're a big soup podcast. I don't know, guys. All right.
Really odd. But it
It's
really
okay. I'll go with it. I'm gonna roll with it. I love a good butternut squash soup. I could
Yes.
probably have some in my fridge right now. And I do love a good lentil soup. Like lentil soup has to be done right. But when it is done right, and then my goat soup is matzo ball soup.
Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough. Yeah.
See?
That's a part of my heritage. It's part of my heritage, but
Yeah.
also just like incredible soup. So
Yeah,
there's
it's
probably
delicious.
my top three.
See, bet we could have given you 100 guesses of what you
Okay.
were going to get asked about today.
Yeah, I never.
We like to keep you on your toes, Amanda.
You
I love
delivered.
it.
You
I love
delivered,
it.
Amanda.
One final question for you.
Yes.
We were telling people before you came on that if they don't happen to follow you on X, that you
They
give
should.
the best
I know where this is going.
lines, which you have. I mean, and I think that you've really started a trend with the way that so many people show their lines now and writing it out. As someone that appreciates fantastic penmanship, which you have, do you ever have to tear off the page and rewrite the lines?
Because you have pressure now.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
The expectations. And is it just external pressure or is it that need for perfect penmanship?
No, I don't even think about the external pressure. It is all internal for me. It's funny. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. So like, I'm one of 5 kids and we all were very fortunate enough to go to private school in Montreal, which is where I'm from. And all my siblings became like doctors and lawyers and professors. And like, you get like that private school education. So like, you think you're going to go do something big with it. And I'm like, well, at least like we had handwriting classes. Like, my poor father is like, what did I do wrong with you? And I was like, Dad, but it's a trend. Don't worry. I put a ton of pressure on myself for it. And yes, I do have to rewrite it sometimes, but it can be like for the most menial thing that it's like, I see it and I'm not sure anyone. I'm like, ooh, that curve on the A isn't quite right. Like I need to do it again. And then the last thing that I always do when I write my lineup is underline the word New Jersey Devils. That's the last thing I do. And that to me is like the most pressure point because
Right.
if I don't do the line correctly, I do end up starting again. And as an environmentalist myself, I hate that I do that. I'm like wasting paper. But yes, it's something that I started when I was back in Montreal. And as you guys know, like the Montreal media, there's so many people, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, everyone was tweeting the lines. And I was like, you got to stand out somehow. And that's where I started it. I just like randomly started it there. And it really took off and I did not expect it to. I just wanted to find a different way to do the same thing that everybody else was doing. And I went for it.
Love it.
Great at writing about Brandon Dillon. Great at talking about soup. And great handwriter.
Yes.
Amanda Stein. Everybody.
Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
so
Amanda.
much.
See you later. Amanda. Okay. Mitch has been waiting patiently for us in his hotel room. He ran back from the rink 100 miles an hour, new records to be on the show. Mitch
But
McClinton.
dedication that we
That's
love.
the exact speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you. And now that's the thing though. Like, so yes, I've been sitting here for a little bit, but because I'm a committed watcher of the show, my background is nowhere near what Amanda's is. So.
I know. I like how she tries to tell me it's messy. It looked like a show
Oh,
home. It totally looked like a show home.
It did.
It's one of my
look like she was
favorite
moving
things to
good.
do when people come over to visit. I've been cleaning for like the last couple hours. Like, oh, sorry, it's just
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
stuff everywhere.
Now that we have a dog and a cat and 3 kids, my wife never lets anybody come over because the house doesn't look up to standard. So that's how it goes.
Never open a closet door. That's the rule.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ever. So just quick thought on Arnie, not so much backing off of what he said yesterday, just more clarifying what he was trying to get across for his frustrations for the effort against Detroit.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, message received, right? And I can imagine from his standpoint, even the player's standpoint, right? You've been playing this certain brand of hockey. Have you won every single game since the holiday break? No, but you kind of had an idea of what the game was going to look like. And for a team that was looking for consistency as much as the Winnipeg Jets have been for the last little while, to have a game like they did against Detroit, especially at the end of a run of home games that they've had throughout January, which has been a very busy month, to kind of have that clunker, if you will, was just kind of like, eh. So you can imagine the frustration, right? So I think that's what it was. And kind of what he said yesterday was, hey, I'm not going to say anything up here that I haven't said in the room already. And, based on, some of the stories that I've read, whether it was Paul Friesen's in the Sun or otherwise, the players pretty much agreed with it, right? So they're like, it's not a message that came out of nowhere. So I'm going to be quite interested to see how Winnipeg responds tonight against New Jersey, because, as much as, and you guys had Amanda on, as much as things have been going well, 5-2 since they played Winnipeg, 3 of 4 on the road, Sheldon Keefe wasn't exactly thrilled with how things went in Seattle to end that road trip. So two motivated teams tonight at Prudential Center.
It was an optional skate this morning, but you tweeted out that Neil Pionk was out there. Scott had said before the team left that he wasn't expecting any of the injured players to be available before the Olympic break. But I'm sure many people wondering, how did Pionk look out there, even just in an optional?
Very good. I mean, it's he was skating quite well, and that was kind of the thing that you always kind of look for first, is how confident is a player skating on the ice, whether you can maybe see that they're leaning one way or they're protecting one side or they're not shooting the same. He looked quite good. And, for Neil Pionk, obviously, he's going to be somebody that's going to play through pretty much anything as long as he can. So I'm sure he's wanting to get back as quickly as possible to help the team out, but he still had his showmanship out there. He scored on Comrie twice in one of the drills. I was spinning the stick around, putting it in the holster. So that part of his personality is still very much at 100%.
Okay, so when they're having a hard time scoring as they are now at 5-on-5, you're kind of looking at your top line again to start helping you get out of that little slump. What have you seen from the top line lately that maybe has attributed to the fact that they're having a hard time scoring?
Well, I mean, I think we just get so used to the fact that when Gabriel Velarde is there that, things are going to go in the back of the net and it's just going to go at this ridiculous clip the whole time. And, Alex Iafallo, maybe not the same in terms of finishing as Gabriel Velarde, but he does a number of things well as well. And I just think, over the course of the careers of Mark Scheifele and Kyle Connor, I mean, they've been essentially point per game players. So when they do go through a 3-4 run, kind of like they are right now, where they haven't been able to generate at 5-on-5 as much as they would like, you start to look around at little things. And for them, I think part of it was kind of what Scott Arniel talked about against the Detroit Red Wings, where maybe they're just not getting quite inside enough at 5-on-5 or getting to those loose pucks. For me, the biggest thing when I look at whether it's the Scheifele line or otherwise, it's winning those secondary battles. So if a puck gets through from the point, does Winnipeg get their stick on that puck first in that danger area? Because what that does, if you are able to do that, is A, rebound, sure, but B, you can reset or get your secondary attack before the opposition is able to get themselves set in the defensive zone. And that was something that, Kyle Connor spoke about when it came to the Winnipeg Jets power play. When they were starting to go, he said we weren't waiting to get ourselves set again. We were attacking again. And at 5-on-5, it's harder to have that secondary attack if you're not getting your stick on those secondary pucks that are coming off of goaltenders. So that's another area that I'm sure that they'll be able to try to exploit against the Devils. That's kind of what it's been for them. Like they're going to get their opportunities off the rush. They're going to get their opportunities, at 5-on-4. But at 5-on-5, for me, when that line is really going, A, they're winning those battles below the goal line, and B, they're finding a way to get themselves to the front of the net. in areas of danger, right? So Kyle Connor can always find, that little bit of space when Mark Scheifele gets the puck below the goal line. For sure, they can do that. But it's maybe not happening at the frequency that we're used to seeing with that line right now. So I'm sure they took Scott Arniel's message to heart, and they'll find a way to do it tonight.
And maybe expand, and your answer might be that line. But when you think about this matchup against Jersey and having just seen them a couple of weeks ago, which line do you think has the best opportunity? And like this matchup is best suited for?
Well, I'll always, I will lean toward the Scheifele line, but the other one is Niederreiter, Lowry, Nemestikov.
Oh,
just simply because
don't touch my third line.
Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly. And part of it is, you have a Devils team that at 5-on-5, like Amanda touched on, having trouble scoring goals, but they've also kind of adjusted their lines a little bit today. From what we saw kind of at the tail end of the road trip. So they've got Jack Hughes playing with Dodonov and Dawson Mercer, and then you've got the Hischier, Meyer, Bratt line. So there's two lines that Winnipeg's going to have to try to find a way to match up against. And usually, of course, Scott Arniel is going to want Lowry on one of those lines. Of course, being on the road, you don't have last change. So we're going to maybe see some times where that trio isn't going up against maybe one of those top lines. And if Winnipeg can find a way to exploit those situations and find ways to either generate positive offensive momentum or find the back of the net during some of those quote unquote mismatches, if you will, I think it only bodes well for the Jets.
Last one before we let you go. Great job reporting that Mark Scheifele shaved his mustache yesterday.
It is a hot topic in the comments right now.
My gosh.
It really is.
Now Jay Onrait can't say Officer Scheifele anymore. What else are we supposed to do with this? But has anyone got to the bottom of why he shaved his mustache?
No, and I remember asking him when it was still on, I think partway through December, I kind of wandered over to him and I was like, is there any reason why it's still going? Like, I was trying to think, is there like a streak? He didn't have like a super long point streak or anything. He was still getting points, but it just wasn't, something that you would think for superstition, but he said it was top secret. So haven't been able to get to the bottom of it, but now that it's off, like we'll see, because he started growing it for November, right?
Yep.
I mean, Winnipeg struggles kind of started in around there. So maybe, who knows, he shaves it and all of a sudden they go on a St. Louis Blues type run here. We'll see. But yes, I was quite surprised when I put it out. I was just kind of being my sarcastic self, right? Yep. It's like there wasn't really much different going on at practice. I was like, hey, there's something new. And it took off. And I love Jets fans for it.
Yeah. They love you for sure, buddy. Appreciate your time. Great job cleaning the roof and the walls. Your hotel room is spotless. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yes. Sounds good. Talk to you guys
Have
later.
a great call tonight.
Thank you.
Mitch Clinton from 680 CJOB and Power 97. You'll hear them a little bit later tonight. Have we even showed the lines yet?
No, which we will in a second. Feast or famine for Scheifele. So in January, every game, he's got 16 points in 13 games.
Okay.
But he either has no points,
right,
or it's a multi-point game.
Okay.
Feast or famine. There is no in between.
Multi-point night tonight for Mark Scheifele.
There you go. We'll have to see. Let's take a look at what the projected lines are.
There they are.
Now, again, this is going off of what we saw. I mean,
before they left.
Look very familiar, but this is what we saw before they left because it was the optional skate today.
Don't touch any of those lines.
There you go. I now have people texting or messaging about the don't touch my third line. Don't touch my third line.
We need to make a shirt out of this, actually.
We really should.
If I had money to waste, I would do it today. But it's not exactly the thing you bring up when you get home. Hey, $25 and this beauty. Okay, so Connor Hellebuck getting the start again here against the New Jersey Devils.
Yep. Let's
take a look at Connor Hellebuck's stats last year as opposed to this year. And I know it's not really fair because last year was so incredible.
Yeah.
So he's not much off. Like 269, lots of goaltenders in the NHL would kill for this opportunity to have that goals against average. It's the save percentage, 902. And then the most glaring change.
Shutouts. And if you go exactly to this point of last season, he had six of his 8 shutouts had already occurred. So that's certainly an area that the Jets would love to see return, but he can't do it alone.
No, he cannot. And here's Connor Hellebuck yesterday before the Jets left for Newark.
Coming off of an injury, how would you describe that process and trying to get your game to where you want it to be based on sitting out the 3 weeks you sat out?
I think I came right back in and, got my game right to where I left off, and, we continued to build it. That being said, I came in and we went on a huge losing streak, so that's not great for the mentals, and everyone's going to look worse when you're on a losing streak. But the thing with hockey, it's a team game. We do it all together. We get out of the streak together, and we build winning streaks together, and no one man is going to steal the show. Once the team starts succeeding, then those individuals will start succeeding.
We looked at some of the stats, and I think the team is 22nd overall in allowing tipped goals and 31st overall when it comes to screened goals. Has it seemed like it's a higher degree of difficulty this year in that you're facing seems to be a lot more traffic and a lot more tipped pucks?
Yeah, I'll definitely say I feel like there's a lot more goals that I feel like I have no control over, and I just got to stick to my game and hope some hit me. I also felt like I've been getting some pretty bad luck and some bad bounces this year, posts off of my back, and just little things where you get a piece of it and usually that's enough, and it's not. That being said, I do believe in you create some of your own luck, and I mean that's not just an individual, that's a whole team thing.
All right, there's Connor Hellebuck. I look at one of the goals he let in against Detroit the other night. The puck went up in the air. They thought it was a high stick and goes and falls in right behind him perfectly. So that's the bounces that he's talking about. There has been pucks bouncing off the back of him going in the net. So there has been some non-puck luck for Connor Hellebuck. And I agree with you. Yes, he has to stay positive. He's still the best goalie in the league, and they need him down this stretch run, especially starting tonight against the New Jersey Devils.
Yes, just before we wrap, because it is 1:00 and Winnipeg Sports Talk is underway, you have a new ground control that is out.
Oh, right. Yes. Before we go, Blake Wheeler was here last week during the announcement of the alumni game. And of course, what do I ask Blake Wheeler about? Not about himself. I asked about Big Buff.
Is it fair to say when you talk to people about your time with the Winnipeg Jets that maybe the player that you get asked about the most is Dustin Byfuglien?
By far. Oh, yeah. He's one of a kind in every way, shape, and form. What gets lost in the shuffle is how good he was.
Mm-hmm.
They love talking about the big hits. They love talking about the pranks he would play and the stuff in the locker room. And those are all obviously a huge part of what makes him him. But man, when he was there compared to when he left, and I'm speaking as a right winger because we were on the same side of the ice a lot. I was covering for him a lot too,
especially in overtime.
Yeah, when he would go, I wanted to play forward a little bit. But
do you believe there'll never be another one like him?
I mean, it's hard to replicate.
I'll say it.
Go ahead.
I don't think there'll be another Buff.
There can't be.
There can't be.
And he made a very good point. Like the gap when Buff retired,
Yes.
it was noticeable. They had to cobble together a blue line. It was very hard for them for the longest time. That's why I think where Connor Hellebuck did his best work that season after when Dustin Byfuglien retired. That's Connor Hellebuck's best season to me, period, because of how busy he was that year. So you can watch that right now on YouTube. So Wheels talks about many things about all the guys that they announced, retirement and the outdoor game coming up. Of course, he's not going to be outdoors. He'll be indoors for the alumni game.
There you go.
That's it.
All right. That's it. That's all. It was an optional morning skate.
And
The Jets starting off 4 games on the road
Right.
tonight. Jersey. We didn't ask Jill about the weather.
Oh yeah.
About the snow. Did they get caught in snow? I think it's been awful down there.
I
as
think
well.
I think I texted Weber last night. He said he got in fine.
Oh, okay. So then maybe it's
and then they're going to
maybe
Florida
it's
after
just
that. They'll
wrong.
be okay. Okay, so that's it. Jets and Devils tonight. Make sure you watch it. It's
6
on
o'clock.
TSN. It
Sure is.
CGOB Power 97. You want to listen to it on the radio. And we appreciate your time. Thursday, just a quick heads up. One of Dustin Byfuglien's biggest hits ever was against Mark Stone when Stone was with the Ottawa Senators.
What Jamie loves, second only to Brendan Dillon,
Yeah,
is the Dustin Byfuglien hit on Mark Stone.
I love that hit. So Dave Randorf called that game for Sportsnet. And
Yep.
he also called the Jets' first playoff series in the 2.0. We're going to talk to him about that. And, of course, the Tampa Bay Lightning, but who really cares about them? It's about the Jets. The Jets pregame show.
There you go. And we can also answer the question about because we have never had this discussion. We have apparently evolved in the chat today from just being a soup conversation.
Soup and
to
sandwich.
soup and sandwich. Our hot dog's a sandwich.
Oh, we're gonna ask Dave Randorf that too.
We'll catch them by surprise.
Yeah.
People are going to be so shocked by this.
The answers we've got about soup though has been tremendous.
I feel like maybe Campbell's Soup Company or something like that should take on this segment.
We should just
It
like
could be a
put
whole
soup
segment.
up there and say this is what it looks like, and then we'll send it into them. We used your name during a show. You owe us $1,000 and free soup.
And a lot of soup.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I love seeing so many of you in the chat as always. And
Those
we
are
hope
the
that you're
best.
going to join us again on Thursday when we get you set for the Jets when they make their way down to Florida, starting off in Tampa.
Thanks for watching.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm so
That's
glad.
all.
I'm glad you're back.
Let's wrap. No,
Yeah.
you're not, but that's fine.
Right. I can
I'm
pretend
here
for
a
one show.
bit. It's a great. All right, everyone. Enjoy
ya.
your Tuesday. See you later.